So hello everyone, in this audio class we will discuss the 20 most important questions from the chapter Geographical Perspective on selected issues and problems. Chapter 9 from the book India, People and Economy. These questions will be very much important for your upcoming KVS, NVS PGT Geography interview. So let's get started with the question number 1. So how would you define environmental pollution in an interview setting? So environmental pollution is the introduction of foreign, undesirable and potentially harmful elements such as liquid, solid or gaseous waste into the environment from human activities, degrading natural ecosystem quality. For example, the discharge of untreated chemical effluents from the textile dyeing units directly into local water bodies. Next question, what are the main sources and health effects of water pollution? So water pollution occurs due to industrial effluents, domestic sewage and agricultural runoff, making water unfit for human consumption. It causes severe waterborne diseases such as diarrhea, intestinal worms and hepatitis. For example, untreated municipal sewage flowing into the river Yamuna in Delhi causes toxic foam and leads to gastrointestinal illness in surrounding communities. Next question, explain the key objectives of the Namami Gange program. So Namami Gange program is an integrated conservation mission aimed at cleaning and protecting the river Ganga through sewerage treatment, industrial effluent monitoring, riverfront development, afforestation and establishing Ganga grams. For example, constructing modern sewage treatment plants along the river banks in Kanpur to intercept toxic tannery waste before it reaches the river. Next question, what causes urban smog and how does air pollution impact human health? So air pollution is caused by the addition of contaminants like dust, gases and smoke from fossil fuel combustion, mining and industry. When atmospheric pollutants mix with fog over cities, it forms urban smog causing respiratory, circulatory and nervous system disorders. For example, heavy winter smog in northern Indian cities like Delhi and NCERT driven by vehicular emissions and stubble burning leading to severe asthma spikes. Next question, what constitutes noise pollution and how is it intensity measured? So noise pollution is the state of unbearable and uncomfortable sound caused by industrial operations, mechanized construction, automobiles, aircrafts, sirens and loudspeakers. Its level of steady noise is measured in decibels. For example, high decibel sound levels near the major urban traffic intersections and airports like Mumbai's CSMI airport causing sleep disturbance and stress. Next question, distinguish between the two main sources of urban solid waste. So urban waste originates from two primary sources. Household or domestic establishments consist of kitchen, waste paper and plastic packaging, and industrial or commercial establishments like includes metallic pieces, glass, chemical residue and discarded electronics. For example, daily garbage collection from urban households in Kolkata versus commercial packaging and scrap waste from market hubs. Next question, what health hazards are associated with uncollected urban solid waste? So uncollected solid waste creates obnoxious smells and acts as a breeding ground for flies and rodents. These vectors spread various serious infections like diseases like typhoid, diphtheria, diarrhea, malaria and cholera. For example, open garbage dumps along narrow streets harboring mosquitoes and rats leading to local outbreaks of vector-borne diseases like malaria. Next question, what is land degradation and how is it classified? So land degradation is either a temporary or permanent decline in the productive capacity of land caused by both natural processes and human actions. The National Remote Sensing Center classifies degraded lands into wastelands such as waterlogged marshy areas or saline alkaline lands, and degraded forest or pasture lands. For example, excessive irrigation causing soil salinity and land degradation in agricultural belts of Punjab and Haryana. Next question, what is the Swachh Bharat mission and what is its urban focus? So the Swachh Bharat mission is a part of urban renewal mission launched by the government of India aimed at improving environmental sanitation and improving environmental sanitation, waste management and quality of life, particularly in urban slums. For example, constructing community toilets in urban slums clusters to eliminate open defecation and improve hygiene. Next question, why are surface water sources in India increasingly unfit for consumption? So indiscriminate disposal of untreated industrial effluents, domestic sewage and agricultural chemicals into natural water bodies pollutes surface water sources. For example, agricultural runoff containing high concentrations of chemical pesticides and fertilizers washing into the local streams in rural farming belts. Next question, what drives large-scale rural to urban migration in India? So rural to urban migration is driven by push factors like limited rural employment, low wages, agricultural distress combined with pull factors like urban job opportunities and better living standard. And for example, workers migrating from rural regions like Odisha, Talche to industrial hubs like Surat or Mumbai for construction and factory work. Next question, how do remittances from internal migration impact rural livelihoods? So remittances sent by migrants provide crucial financial support for daily consumption, healthcare, children's schooling, purchasing land and improving housing in rural native villages. For example, a migrant worker in Ludhiana remitting savings back home to Bihar to fund agricultural input purchases and family health care. Next question, describe the physical and socio-economic paradox of Dharavi. So Dharavi, Asia's largest slum, presents a stark paradox. It suffers from overcrowding, poor sanitation, uncollected garbage and narrow roads, yet it harbors vibrant informal manufacturing industries producing high value goods. For example, highly skilled artisans crafting requisite leather items, ceramics and embroidery in Dharavi's cramped workrooms for export and luxury retail. Next question, why do children living in slums area often face education deprivation? So children in slums area deprived of education due to severe poverty, child labor compulsions, lack of family resources, exclusion and limited access to quality schooling. For example, young children working in informal recycling or street hawking in slum clusters to supplement major family incomes instead of attending school. For next question, why is urban solid waste disposal a growing crisis in India metros? So unplanned urban growth generates enormous quantities of solid waste daily, outpacing municipal collection capacity and leading to open dumping, environmental contamination and health risk. For example, massive landfill sites such as Gazipur in Delhi or Dhapa in Kolkata exceeding capacity and emitting foul odor and leachate. Next question, how does intensive agriculture contribute to soil and water degradation? So overuse of synthetic fertilizers, chemical pesticides and excessive canal irrigation leads to soil salinization, water logging and toxic leaching into groundwater aquifers. For example, over irrigation in canal commanded regions, turning fertile land into saline and alkaline wasteland, that is called usher. Next question, explain how social and cultural activities contribute to water pollution. So, unregulated cultural practices, religious rituals, pilgrimages and mass gatherings along river bank often lead to direct dumping of non-biodegradable and organic waste into water bodies. For example, immersing unpainted or chemically painted idols and offering plastic materials into rivers during festival occasions. Next question, what are the primary consequences of unregulated population growth in cities? So, unregulated population growth puts severe pressure on urban amenities, causing overcrowding, air and water pollution, inadequate sanitation, and improper waste management, and the rapid expansion of slums. For example, overcrowded residential colonies in expanding metropolitan areas facing severe drinking water shortages during summer months. Next question, how do social inequalities manifest in the formation of urban slums? So, slums arise from rapid urbanization coupled with socio-economic inequalities, forcing low-paid informal sector workers into dilapidated, unhygienic and overcrowded housing with minimal basic services. For example, informal daily wage construction laborers living in makeshift unorganized settlements without access to clean piped water or proper drainage. Next question, and this is the last question for today. Why is human action considered a major driver of wasteland creation? So, human activities such as overgrazing, deforestation, indiscriminate mining and poor agricultural practices convert productive land into degraded wasteland. For example, open cast coal and mineral mining leaving behind unreclaimed pits and degraded barren land devoid of vegetation cover. So thanks for listening. Keep listening for further audio classes. Thank you so much.